area. It has approximately 130,000 inhabitants, and actually 40,000 of these 130,000 are students. Würzburg is a university city, student city. You really notice this when being out on the streets. You see a lot of young people. It's a very lively, very vibrant city. And that's, by the way, actually also how I ended up here, because I'm originally from Hamburg, a larger port city in the northern parts of Germany, and I came here to Würzburg for med school. I'm in my 4th year now, and I quite enjoy living in the city and also the university. Ja, jetzt über die Brücke jetzt rechts. This castle, the fortress up on the hill, was formerly inhabited by the former ruler of Würzburg, and they were called the Prince Bishops of Würzburg. And the name of their office already kind of gives it away. These people were not only the local bishops, but they were also princes, the local dukes, the local worldly political rulers. And so they combined political and spiritual power in just one person. This started in 1156, and it went on until the days of Napoleon. In 1804 he came to Würzburg and he divided church and state again. And with him the age of the prince bishops was over. But for approximately 650 years, the local bishops were also the local worldly rulers. Kind of a theocracy like we have it in Iran or some places today. But obviously these were Catholic bishops. To the right-hand side, between the trees, you can already see some glimpses, and now you can see it better. You see a green building to the right. This was built by a British architect, Sarah Haid. This is the Max Planck Institute for the research into silicate molecules, basically. And the entire facade is just made out of glass. This is a pretty good example that today Würzburg tries to combine its rich history, all of its culture, all of the very old buildings, with also being at least in some departments on the cutting edge of modern science. Würzburg is trying to be a very modern city as well. A lot of green initiatives. Most of the power is generated by wind or water. So they try to do both. Remember their past, but also think about their future. To the left-hand side, you can see kind of the skyline of the old city center. You see a lot of church spires. The city center alone has 36 churches, and of these 36 churches, actually 30 are Catholic churches. There are only 6 Protestant Lutheran churches here in Würzburg. 90% of the population of the city are Catholics, and obviously religion doesn't play quite as large a role anymore as it did in former times, but it is still very much an important component of living here. And to the right hand side, you can, once we've gone over the traffic lights, get a better view of the Festung again, of the fortress, castle. And to the left hand side you will once the traffic light has turned green, get a view over the old, or the alte Mainbrücke, the old stone bridge over the River Main. This bridge is approximately 800 years old that you're about to see to the left-hand side, and it is with this one of the oldest, if not the oldest, stone bridge in Würzburg, in Germany. Yeah, to the left-hand side we have a good look over it.
I thought it was McDonald's.
And it is with these the statues of saints lining it, pretty similar, I would say, to the Karlstadt Bridge in Prague. Comes from the same time period, and in those days Prague was also part of the German Empire, so there was a lot of connection between these cities.
That's a ship.
Is that our show?
I think it is.
No, your ship has not yet arrived, but
Ah,
will lie there eventually. These are just two other Viking ships that are also in town. Würzburg's a very popular city with the Viking tours. Alright, straight ahead we see the glimpses of the Kapelle, a little pilgrim's chapel up on the hill. These onion-shaped domes are a bit... these onion-shaped domes are reminiscent of the architecture of the Russian Orthodoxy, but this is a Catholic chapel as well. The architect was just inspired by these Eastern European influences, basically, when he made his designs for this chapel. It is a pilgrim's chapel housing a reliquary. Also, ja, unten geradeaus, genau. And people from at least all over the region come there to pray in front of a very old hand-carved wooden statue of Mother Mary, and because there were some reports of miracles happening to people who prayed in front of this statue, like ailments being cured, sicknesses being relieved, basically, stuff like that. And that's why still today people do a pilgrimage there, and they donate a piece of art to the chapel, and they pray in front of it, and they hope that this will benefit them. A lot of the houses to the right-hand side of the street are actually fraternities, student fraternities. Greek life has some similarities to Greek life in the States, but there are also some differences. Similarities would obviously, for example, be the drinking, the partying, the bond for life, trying to help each other out later in life. Differences might be, for example, that because these fraternities are very old and they are steeped in very deep in a lot of traditions, for at least 2/3 of these fraternities you would at least have to learn fencing, and with 1/3 of them you would still be required to fight fencing duels with anybody that offended you from another fraternity. This is obviously a bit strange, but believe me, there are a lot of people higher up in German society where you can still see the facial scars of the fencing these days. And so it is true, people still do that here. This is obviously also one reason why there are not as many sororities. The women obviously don't fence, and sororities are a pretty new phenomenon. They have been founded in recent years because there were a lot of women who were kind of envious and said, well, it's not fair that there are no sororities, no student bodies for women. and so they founded new ones, but the traditional ones with the long history are all fragilities.
What is that?